You ruined it! You ruined everything! You just had to be the center of attention, didn't you?
Right now, understandably so, there's a lot of conversation with Stellar Blade. Leading up to Stellar Blade, just to catch people up, the conversation was more or less around that they had an attractive-looking female that is more or less refreshing, maybe you can say, more refreshing to a lot of people, considering where a lot of Western developers have taken and uglifying a lot of the women, okay? Now, this is coming from a South Korean studio, if I'm not mistaken. But once it launched, the conversation has now shifted because now with some of the suits that you can put Eve in, which is the protagonist, and Stellar Blade, seem to be changed. Let's say that altered. Because some people are looking at the base version, the 1.0 version, without the day one patch. And there's some differentiation. Now, the South Korean studio members of it have said that, well, the updated version and the patch is the way that it was always supposed to be.
Gaslighting means to manipulate someone into believing a false reality.
Now, a lot of people are going back to this post that Stellar Blade post saying that it was going to be uncensored in all locations. And I was talking with Hypnotic about this on his channel. And you can make the argument that technically they didn't lie if that version is what was released in every single country, okay? So Japan included, Eastern countries included, that, yeah, they may have been some adjustments made, but it is the same version, so it's not like different in every location. But still, you're gonna have, and rightfully so, people are sensitive to the topic, and people are gonna look at it like, what the heck? And maybe it does seem more of a bait and switch. Yes, I get it. Small, not that many changes. Some slight changes, and some people are more so arguing the general concept, right? It's about the principle of the matter. So this is my position on this, and I'll be as clear as I can. What I believe happened, I have no proof of this. This is all speculation because I don't think we'll ever know. I do believe that Sony in some way had played a major part. I was doing some research on it. It does look that they had a lot to do with the funding. Obviously, they published it as well. So considering their history, one can see that maybe there was some, hey, change this up a little bit, okay? And I think that when you work with a major player like a Sony, you have to know that comes with its sets of rules and regulations. I think everybody knows this. I hope you do. Definitely if they're going to be publishing it, I hope you do. Because they're going to have their imprint on it. I believe also that is also maybe likely that the studio themselves could have been baited and switched upon, right? Where they went into it with one idea and then maybe closer to the release, it got changed. And what do you do as that studio? I'm just putting this on your mind. I'm not trying to excuse it. I'm not trying to justify it. If you're far along the line, maybe it's a lifelong dream, maybe it's something that you worked so hard for, and Sony said, well, we need you to switch this up. What do you do? And it's not just, well, you hold the line. Well, now we have to talk about the contracts that are involved in this. Come on, you have to know that they got to play ball in some kind of way. Not justifying it. That's the deal that you make. So if it's far along the line, do you bite the bullet and you say, well, damn it, forget it. Okay, we'll change this. We still want to see this thing come out. We work very hard. We're going to change this. I could see that happening as well. But that's the dangers, right, of working with somebody that big, if that's what happened. Sure, because Sony backed it, it has more eyes on it than it ever would have. And that's the give and the take that you make when you do go through another publisher. But there's also going to be rules that you have to play by, and especially understanding Sony's history. I very much believe, and if I had to guess on what happened, as they got closer to the release, Sony and its executives or its shot callers said, we want to make some adjustments to these suits here. And we may never find out to what extent that happened. Maybe we do, but it will be 5-10 years from now, because I can guarantee you there's all sorts of NDAs and everything that's involved, non-disparagement clauses. There's no way that they could come out and say, well, yeah, Sony made us neuter it. There's no way that and Sony would save its own bacon or protect its own bacon contractually and remind them of that. You know better than to do that, right? And some people have pointed to some of the Gore aspects maybe being a little neutered as well. Now, I don't know if that has to do with some of the international releases, because I do know that plays a role with how they do that, but the Gore is still there. So I don't know. I can't make that argument. All I could do is speculate. That's all we'll ever do. I think Sony had more to do with it, but it's the same to the customers. The customers are going to pay money, and if they felt like they got a neutered version of the game, even if it's slightly, especially in this day and age, there's going to be some level of uproar. Now, is this easily fixable? Yes. One could argue that they would make a lot more money if they came out and said, look, man, we shouldn't have changed this. Sony made us change it, and they make all the bucks in the world. Do I think that's a likely thing? Absolutely not, because that would mean that somebody has to take fault. Sony ain't doing it. They're not. So it's interesting to see, and it'll be even more interesting to play out. And I'll end with this. I played a lot of Stellar Blade, like a lot.
Get up, Eve!
I want to make a game so bad, man. Played a couple of streams that we've had. As far as an action game is concerned, gameplay oriented, this is what I lead with. You guys that watch me know it is one of the best action games that I have played as far as its gameplay. It mixes all the elements of what I love, where it has the combo mechanics. You got several combo options just between fucking square and triangle. That's what I'm fucking talking about. It has the differentiation and styles there, while also not being a button masher, because if you just go into it mashing buttons, you're going to get punished.
Oh shit, yeah, it clearly told me I couldn't dodge that.
So it has engaging gameplay. So from that perspective, it is unfortunate that the conversation has now changed, because this is one of the best fucking games as far as the gameplay is concerned that I have ever, quite literally ever played. So we'll see what happens. Thanks for watching. Right now, the Rippaverse is in the middle of our latest campaign, Yaira #1, which was written by the Saskas. Head over to Rippaverse.com, pre-order, and check out our first live-action trailer and the latest Rippaverse Studios production, Y'all Be Easy.